I'd like to talk to you today about international adoption and forgetting the foreign forever family. I am an advocate both of international and domestic adoption. Domestic adoption is adoption that occurs within the United States. International adoption is adoption that occurs when a child from another country is brought to the United States and adopted by parents that are American. I have a special place in my heart for international adoption because my youngest child and only son is adopted from Guatemala. You can imagine my sadness to realize that there are boys and girls today in Guatemala who do not have a forever family, and they still wait. Come with me to a room that is cold and dark. Mats line the floor, and on those mats are little children trying to sleep. As we go to a corner, there's a little girl. Her feet are cold. She pulls her blanket up over her nose and face to try to warm it. She cannot sleep, for she hears the crying of the babies in the other room, and her stomach grumbles from hunger. She has no one to find her a warmer blanket, no one to smooth her matted hair, no one to sing lullabies to her until she's asleep. You see, she is an orphan, and she lies in an orphanage waiting for a forever family. Orphanages like this cover all over different foreign countries, many which have shut their international adoption programs down. You may think, well, that's on the other side of the world. I live here in the United States. I have my own problems. What can I do? I'm here to tell you that everyone can make a difference. In July of 2005, my husband and I began the process of international adoption. 21 months later, we brought home our son from Guatemala. Imagine how we felt when we were told right before we left the country that Guatemala would be shutting down its international adoption program. International adoption is an amazing experience that allows children without parents to find forever families in loving homes, and allows couples who are seeking families to invest their love and attention into a child who needs it. Many countries have slowed or shut down their international programs. Guatemala closed theirs December of 2007, stating that they were sending too many of their children out of their country. They felt that it was more important that their children remained in their country with their culture, their heritage, and their language. I'm not here to deny those children their culture, their heritage, or their language, but I ask you, is that more important than a loving home? Many of these children have been put into orphanages that are privately run to wait for the system, wait for the politicians to decide their fate. If you go to adoption/stategov/country states, you'll find that Russia closed its international adoption program December 28, 2012. President Vladimir Putin, in retaliation for a bill that was passed here in the United States, the Magnitsky Act, which closed our borders to certain Russian officials whom our country felt had a hand in a murder of a man that was dealing in the banking system. This angered Russia, and so they shut down their international adoption program. It's the children of these countries that ultimately suffer. Children need love, support, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual guidance. Roofnet.org, Life in the Orphanage. The author Andrews tells us about orphanages in Russia. Orphanages that are overcrowded and understaffed. Many of the children there no longer cry because they realize that crying does not get their basic needs met, so they have just learned not to cry. Cribs are filled with babies, 1 or 2, possibly 3 in one crib, and they lay there for up to 20 hours a day. Many children have a syndrome that causes the back of their heads to be flat because they lay in their crib all day. There's no mental or emotional or physical stimulation. These children grow up and they are not functional in society. They don't know how to deal with anything but the orphanage. Many older children learn how to hoard food because they do not know when their next meal will be coming. These children have no childhood. Their ultimate goal is survival. You may ask, how can I do anything? How can I get involved? Well, I'm glad you asked. Consider international adoption. Perhaps it's never even crossed your mind. Maybe there's room in your home for another child. If you consider international adoption, make sure that you go with a reputable agency, research it, ask for references, and then look at the country that you would consider. Each country has different laws, different regulations. Look at the country that would best fit your life. Then tell others. Many people do not have a family and are looking to start one. Many people are unable to. Perhaps you could portray to them the need of international adoption. And then lastly, contact your elected officials. Elizabeth Bartholet wrote a paper, The Politics of International Adoption. In that paper, she lets us know that we need to contact our state officials, the State Department, U.S. senators, state representatives, and ultimately even the White House can continue to be active in getting these countries to open their borders. Nothing changes unless something changes. Is there not a cause? International adoption. What will you do to make a difference today?